Welcome back to King Narai. Today we will be going over every single gun in the game, and I will tell you the do's and don'ts with it and whether or not I will use it. Let's get into it. By the way, this is going to be a long one, so go ahead and grab some popcorn. But anyway, the M4. The M4, I would say, is very good downrange. Close range, not so much, but it has recoil, but it's controllable recoil, and downrange it absolutely shreds. Will I use it? Yes. Type 25. I really have never touched a Type 25, so will I use it? No. So I can't tell you the do's and don'ts. I do know it had a massive buff, and when I picked it up in a BR match, it seems to have very low recoil control or compared to what it used to be. Because it used to be very high recoil, one of the highest recoils of an assault rifle. And now it's pretty low, and the fire rate is ballistic. So, would I use it? No, because I never liked it before. But would I recommend y'all using it? Yes, because it is a pretty good gun now. M16. A burst AR. I hate burst weapons. I think I've only used, I've used all the burst weapons, but I just personally hate them. Because if you don't hit all your shots, which isn't a guarantee, you're dead. But, yeah, I want to use it. What I suggest y'all, if y'all like bursts, this is definitely one of the higher damaging ones per second. But, yeah, no, I want to use it. AK-117. There are three guns. Three guns that I hate and will not use. I don't know why I hate them, but they've been in the game for a while, and I have just not touched them. I refuse to. That is the AK-117, the ASM-10, and the KN-44. So, we'll go ahead and get to those later. This thing, I'm pretty sure, still has very high recoil, and it shoots marshmallows if you do hit your shots. I mean, you can beam with it, which is the case with all of those, but they have such high recoil, and it's just... Anyway. AK-47 used to be one of my favorite guns in the game. Then they started adding recoil to it, and the recoil is very high, but this one I can actually beam with, which some people could say the same for the AK-117 for themselves. But for me, that's the AK-47. I have no problem using this, and it is a pretty good gun. ASM-10, as I said, I hate it. The recoil damage, it's just not for me. BK-57, okay. This thing, when I first discovered it, it was after it's... Because it's been in the game since the beginning. I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure since the beginning. And I never really touched it. And then it started coming around in BR, and I picked it up. Man, I was shredding with this downrange. Like, it barely had recoil. It does have a shake. We'll get to that. Like, some guns, when you shoot it, it just shakes a little. Like, weirdly, I have no idea why. But BK-57, it did have that shake, but it had low recoil. And downrange in BR, I was shredding. I actually made this one of my assault rifle loadouts for multiplayer at a certain point in my life. Of course, now we got the M13s and everything else in the game, but we'll get to that later. LK-24, my friend Kill used this against me, and he did very good with it. I tried to use it against him. It's not really like... It's like a laser beam, but low damage and low fire rate. Would I use it? Occasionally, maybe, but more than likely, no. ICR, one of my favorite guns in the game right now. I mean, not my favorite, and the only reason it's up there is because this thing has been solid the whole entire Call of Duty career, or my whole entire Call of Duty career, except for at one point where, because I had this as one of my primary loadouts, and then took it off for a while, and I came back to it, and it was literally shooting marshmallows. Like, in multiplayer, it took like a solid 10 shots to kill somebody. I'm not sure if y'all remember that time. I'm not sure if that was a bug. But this thing was very, very slow. It had no recoil, but the time to kill was terrible. They recently made it back to its old ways with low recoil and very high damage. Would I use this gun? 100%. One of my favorites in the game. Man of War. It depends the build. If you have a recoil build, then it's going to be very slow. And if you don't have a recoil build, this thing will kick up in the air, and it's going to be hard to hit shots. Would I use it? Very slimly. I used to, but not anymore. It cannot compete with most guns. KN-44 just has that kick, and it doesn't work out for me. HBR-3, I am a fan of this. When I switched off my ICR, I put this on, and it is a solid gun. It reminds me of the GKS, but you can literally hit your shots, does decent damage, and low recoil. It's like a well-rounded assault rifle. Would I use it? Yeah, but it ain't topping the ICR or anything like that. HVK, I have not really used this, but this thing has a huge shake, a very huge shake. Even with recoil control attachments, the shake on this when you shoot it is terrible. I hope y'all know what I'm saying when I say shake, because we're not getting no gameplay today, so I'm not going to be able to show you. But I hope for those of y'all who actually play the game, y'all know what I'm talking about. This gun has a lot of shake. Oh, would I use it? Yeah, it does shred. If you hit your shots, it kills quick. But, nah, wouldn't use it. DRH. I tried using the DRH. The DRH is a great gun. It just did not work for me. Well, would I use it? Yes, if I can finally understand how. But it didn't work for me because I just could not hit my shots with it no matter what. But whenever it was used against me, it pretty much destroyed all of my weapons that it went up against. Very great gun. I don't know what else I can say about it, but Peacekeeper, shake, a lot of shake on this gun. Damage, not that good anymore. Used to be, but they nerfed it, so I guess this will be just for this season. I'll say my view of all the guns in Call of Duty Mobile for this season. That'll be in the title. But yeah, just for this season, low damage and shake is out of this world. So no, I will not use it. Next is the FR556. Now this has shake out of this world, but the shake actually helps it because you can still shoot while it's shaking. Like you still can with the other ones, but it kind of fits with the gun. And the gun actually, I don't know how to explain it, but the shake isn't really a factor when you use it compared to most other things. It's like a perfect counter to the shake. I don't know how, but it's a very good gun. Kills quick, or at least it used to. I have not used this in a long time, so I can't really give my opinion of this season. But the last time I used it, kills quick. It does have that shake effect, but if you can get past that and just still hit your shots, it's a very good gun. AS Val, no matter how hard they tried to nerf it, this gun is one of the guns that still remains at the top. One of my favorite assault rifles. That'll be the ICR, the AS Val, and of course the M13 when we get to it. This thing has been very solid. Before I got the M13, I was using this. It's like an SMG time to kill, so it's a very quick assault rifle, or very quick killing assault rifle. It's also got manageable recoil, and you can adjust it to your own gameplay. It's very versatile, and again, one of my favorite assault rifles. One of my favorite guns in the game, period. But anyway, AMAX, shake. Yeah, it's got shake, not that bad a shake, and it does kill good, but whenever I tried to use this, I would run into people using Vals and other great guns, and they could not compete, at least when I used it. And then it does have the bullets that you can shoot one at a time with. If you use those, just use an SKS, please. So would I use this one? If I had to, yeah. I mean, I don't have anything against the gun, but it's just not for me. M13, you see I have a mythic skin of it, which means I really love it. If you ever watch one of my videos, this needs no explanation, but for those of y'all who have not, I will go ahead and say M13. Again, my friend Kill, he says it shoots marshmallows. It does like 30 some damage per hit. I don't even think it does 30. It does do a low amount of damage per hit, but the fire rate is an 88, as you see. So this thing, if you hit your shots, it's over for anybody. Like this thing, when I went up against the Val, I could finally beat it. That's why I switched from the Val to the M13. Because first time I tried it, I'm like, yeah, it's got good recoil control. I can really downrange you with it. But now they've kind of buffed the recoil, or I mean nerfed the recoil into it. So it does have more recoil when you go super long range. but medium range and regular long range, and not sniper range is what I'm saying. This thing is a very good gun. Swordfish. It's a burst gun, so I would not use it, but I have used it once because somebody had it. It had no recoil. I just built a build for it because I needed it for like an event, and it had 0 recoil. The only, I think I might actually want to give you all that build at some point, and I was thinking that's actually going to be my next King's official build, because this thing had 0 recoil. You could hip fire it, because the only thing wrong with it is that you have to be scoped in to use it. It's like a sniper type thing, but it's not very good at quick scoping because the ADS time is a little slow. But if I had to use a burst gun, it would definitely be this one. This one has 0 recoil with the right attachments, and I don't even think it has recoil by itself. And if it does, it's very low. But anyway, Kilo. I don't think I've ever used a Kilo except for when somebody killed me with it and I picked it up and then tried to use it on them. I have, in those situations, found out that this thing is very good. It's beaten my M13 countless times. It's just I don't have the mythic for it because I had just bought the M13 mythic. And then everybody, like right after, everybody's talking about the Kilo. I'm like, nah, can't be that good. So, does my M13 compete? Yeah. Does the Kilo have the edge? Depends on the range, but they're two very great guns. I'm not too familiar with the Kilo, so I can't say whether or not I'd use it, but I probably would, based on what I have done. And then the Odin. Do I classify this as a burst? I think so. What Kill say? He said it was a 2-tap in multiplayer, and it sounds terrible. It sounds like I wish if y'all played the game, you know what I'm talking about. But I wish I wanted to edit right now because I would edit the noise into it. But I'm just lazy right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and upload this video. But this thing sounds terrible. It shoots very slow. That you see the fire rate is 41. But it is a 2-tap, which is ridiculous. Or 3-tap, I don't know, but I think it's a 2-tap. A 2-tap in multiplayer. In BR, this thing is overpowered. Would I use it? No, I hate this gun. The feel is terrible. When you shoot it, shake. It's not the normal shake that goes side to side. It's like a vertical up and down shit. No, I would not use this. I'm not talking about it. XPR snipers. Okay. I want to go through snipers as a whole group right now. Anyway, snipers for me, back in the day, I wasn't really a good sniper. I would just hard scope if I had to use them, if we did snipers only. So that's what prompted me to start using the Arctic, because it's, if you scope in, you can literally pow, 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 and tap, and it's like a 1-tap. And then I was using Locust as well. I would have used DLQ, but I went with Locust because it seemed better to hard scope with, honestly. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, let's go with the XPR. And well, let me continue what I was saying. Yeah, and then later I started getting into quick scoping matches because the Arctic could not compete against quick scoping DLQs and other guns we'll get to. So I started trying to find a new gun. My new gun is the M21, and that brings me to the XPR. Okay, so there are different types of guns in the game. There are semi-auto, so as fast as you can tap is as fast as it'll shoot. It is a little bit slower, but I'd say that would be the XPR, the Arctic, the M21. Did I miss one? SVD, I guess you could say. So those are those. All of them, I would say the Arctic is the best for damage. It's just the ADS time is off, and if you try to put ADS attachments on it, it kicks up in the air. It's very bad with that. So if you want to use it, you're going to have to go ahead and go with the slow feel. It's not that slow, but it's slow if you're in a snipers only match. But against like machine guns and stuff, you probably do well. Next, I guess you could say, is the M21 and the XPR. These guns they scope in very fast and they're 2-taps. But the reason why I'm using the M21 now is because they buffed it, and now it's a 1-tap at very close range. And when I use a sniper, I'm quick scoping, like on shipment, I'm running into people. So that 1-tap ability by the M21 and how fast it fires and how fast it scopes in, that's why I'm using it. The XPR is still a 2-tap, but it does scope in quick and actually scopes in a little bit quicker and also shoots a little bit quicker. Wait, let me check that. Yeah, so they both say 37, but it shoots a little bit quicker. And then the SVD is like the Arctic 50, except this one is a sure to kill chest or above. Like you could even hit the stomach and it'll 9 times out of 10 kill. And this is without OWC stopping power. The SVD on the other hand, this is gimmicky. If you hit like the shoulders or above, it's definitely a kill, but the chest, it's like a 50-50 shot. So now that we're done with that, we'll get to the other ones. The NA45 is in a group of its own because it's a you have 2 bullets in your clip. One shoots and the other one ignites it and makes an explosion. Now there are a few gimmicks that you could put onto it and attachments, but it's in a class of its own. But going forward, we got these three. We got the DOQ, the Locust, the Outlaw, the Rytec, and the Koshka. You see, these are all 1 tap, 1 kill. And then it'll have to do a motion that takes a little bit to actually be able to fire again. So it's not as semi-auto as the rest. But I'd say the Rytec is the closest to the NA45 because of its slow fire rate and its ability to not only make things explode with a certain ammo, but also set them on fire with that same ammo, or with a different ammo, I mean, but with ammo. So that's the closest to it. Fire rate is low, damage is high if you hit your shots. So that's that. But if I ever went into a snipers only match and I'm not using my M21s or my semi-autos, it'd definitely be between these two. Of course, you got the Locust and the DOQ. The Locust and the DOQ, I use the DOQ over the Locust because it just feels better. Some people, I mean, the Locust is more of a black scope type gun. You shoot before it's like fully scoped in. DOQ, you can do the same, but 9 times out of 10, you're actually scoping in the full motion. But yeah, these are two very good guns. DOQ, that's definitely for me. Locust used to be, but that's more of a camping gun in my opinion. And then Outlaw and Koshka, these two are very close. 90 damage, 90 damage, 27 fire rate, 28 fire rate. You see, I was just saying they were close because I knew that they had a similar feel. And when I actually look at these stats, of course, the accuracy and stuff, but when you actually look at the gun shooting stats, like the damage and the fire rate, I didn't know they were this close. And then, of course, the Koshka is a little bit more mobile, as you see here. And in exchange for that mobile, with the Outlaw, you get better control and accuracy. But yeah, these are two very close guns. Who would I give the edge to? I have not really touched the Outlaw. I have tried. It did not work for me. Koshka, on the other hand, when it first came out, I started using it, and boy, was I ripping off heads. And then I went into like sniper-only matches against some very good players, and it wasn't doing as well as my DLQ, so I switched back. But yeah, Koshka is very good. And then that brings me to my last one, the SVD. It's like a semi-auto and 1 tap, 1 kill hybrid. Its fire rate is 34, but it does shoot pretty fast, but not fast enough for me to call it a semi-auto. So if you want a fast shooting gun that is a 1 tap, 1 kill, and as I said, you don't really know where it's going to hit, then that'll be the SVD. But that's enough with snipers. I didn't actually do it the same way I did assault rifles, but I hope I said everything that needs to be said. Now we get to here. S36 has been in the game since the game has been the game. This gun has had the fastest fire rate of all LMGs for the longest time. I want to check now and see if that's still the case. Ooh, the chopper. But you see it has more damage than the chopper. But yeah, it has had the fastest fire rate until these newer guns have come out. Because the LMGs used to be the S36, UL, RPD, and M4. And of them, the S36 was, of course, the best. Well, not the best, but the quickest fire rate. I remember, again, Kill used this against me one time, and he beamed my we were using LMGs only, but he beamed my M4 LMG, and I started trying to use it. It wasn't for me, but I think now with my gameplay, because it has, I wouldn't say evolved, I don't want to use that word, but it has definitely gotten better, and it has adapted to the game. So I would be able to use this now. It's just now competing with other guns, this thing is probably not as good as it used to be. But my favorite thing that is that S36, yeah, it's very good, but it, in my opinion, cannot compete right now unless you're like hard aimed and you find somebody around the corner. In that case, for sure. Look, it literally looks like a sniper in the front. Like this thing is amazing, but it's not really that good right now. Maybe if they buff it, it'll be better. But enough on that. UL, yeah, probably one of the worst LMGs. I'm sorry, I have to say it. The time to kill and everything else factored in, it doesn't feel like an SMG. I mean, a LMG. A SMG maybe, but it feels more like an assault rifle, like a heavier assault rifle. In an LMG class, no. Would I use it? I've tried it, but no, I simply cannot use this. RPD, as you see, I have the RPD Orbit with custom iron sights, if you see right now. But anyway, this gun has been my favorite assault, or my favorite LMG until some of the newer ones have come out. Because this thing, you could hold down the trigger, it did decent damage, killed quick. I mean, I always loved this gun. M4 was a little bit quicker than the RPD, but I used it because you can turn it into an SMG, and whenever I use it, that's the build I go with it. But anyway, after that, the chopper became my favorite after the RPD because of it was just simply better. Let's look at the stats. RPD's damage is 31, fire rate 66. Fire rate on this is a 75. I think they buffed it because it wasn't this high a season ago, I don't think. But anyway, yeah, they kind of buffed it. But accuracy on this 61, and then range 60, 46, 46, mobility 52. It is a slower gun, and control 47. But I mean, in my opinion, I just think this is better. Chopper is a great gun, but there, I don't know. I just lean more to the chopper when it first came out, I guess, because it was the newer gun. But it just felt better to me. That's all I can say. Now, my favorite, favorite LMG, one of my top guns in the game. This is probably because it has a mythic camo, and I really want to get that mythic camo. But I've made a build for it, and that started my King's official builds series. Not series, it's more of a playlist. I don't know what to call it. But yeah, this thing is amazing. With my build on it, at first, when you get it, it's like a very slow, very heavy LMG. But with my build, I will actually put that in the description for those of y'all who have not seen it. And if you made it this far, thank you. I must be talking some facts about the guns. Just playing. But yeah, I'm gonna put that video in the description because if you have that build on here, at least it works for me. This gun, it tops all the other ones. I'm sorry, the kill time, the control with it, I just love that build so much. Hades, I've not really used it that much. I've used it in what's it, Battle Royale, and it was decent, but RPD is better in my opinion. In Battle Royale, I haven't messed with the attachments or actually used it in multiplayer. But if it's the same as BR, because I mean they're both base guns, the RPD is better. Again, I have nothing else I can say because I don't know too much about it. The PKM is like the successor to the RPD. Let's go back to it. Look at that damage, 32 and fire rate 63. 31 and fire rate 66. So technically the RPD is a little bit faster, but it's like the successor. Because if you look, accuracy 64, accuracy 61. Mobility is 31. This one is a lot slower. But, I mean, they're both slow. I mean, the stat can say whatever, but in-game, they're both very slow. But anyway, accuracy 61, range 60. 64 accuracy, range is 58. Well, you can really beam down range with this. I don't care what the stat says. Same with the RPD. Then the control is 47 and the control is 49. Of course, the RPD, you cannot completely beat the older class. I mean, you're going to get better as the years go by, but you can't completely beat them in every single category. That's not going to happen. That goes true to anything. So yeah, the RPD does have its pros over the PKM, But PKM is just simply the successor. Alright, we're done with LMGs. I'm starting to get long with this video. The assault rifles, we moved through those pretty quick. And we got to the sniper and LMG, and I was going in depth. I'll try to speed it up though. RUS, I used to use this a lot. It's very good. The recoil is very controllable with the right attachments, and it kills quick, and it just has a shake. And it does have a shake. That's the only thing I can say against it. Time to kill is decent. It's not up there. It's not down there. It's decent. Shik'em. Shik'em is another burst weapon that I hate to use. It did get a buff. And BR, I used it like a couple weeks ago, and this thing shredded. Because it's like a burst, but you can sit there and hold down the trigger, and as long as you're hitting your shots, this thing kills so quick through kinetic armor. But PDW, I can't remember if this thing has shake. I don't think it has shake. I think it just has vertical and lateral recoil. But I tried using this before. It didn't disappoint. But then other SMGs that we're going to get into came out, and this thing could not compete. But it is a solid gun. Like, I wish the guns, I don't want the guns to be more close. The gun is, or all the guns are unique. But I wish for like a day you could go back to the old game and play with the older weapons. Because this thing is definitely one of the top of the older guns. But these newer guns, there ain't nothing they can do with them. Razorback. It's got shake, but with vertical recoil. Actually, it doesn't have vertical. I'm getting shake confused right now. All the other times I've said shake, it actually has shake. This is just recoil with recoil control. I literally turned this thing into a laser, or at least I said in my video. It was a great build, but I mean, it, again, cannot compete. It can compete, but it competes better than the PDW, but it's still not going to beat these newer guns. MSMC used to be the top gun for fire, like kill time. Fire rate and damage. Damage is terrible, but the fire rate was so high. The kill time was amazing on this. But now the newer guns have taken over. It still holds its own because of its fire rate and its kill time, but its recoil control compared to the other ones that still kill quick as the newer guns, it really has fallen behind. But back in the day, if you wanted to be, I don't know, what's it, gun ho? I don't think it's gun ho, but if you wanted to rush in and shred somebody absolutely with an SMG, it was this gun. Next is the HG40. This thing has shake. That's all I can say. This thing has shake. It's decent all around, I guess, but the shake is too much for me. Pharaoh, another burst gun. This one is more controllable of the bursts, and it doesn't deal that high of damage. I think it's a 2 burst in multiplayer. So I mean, it's pretty good, but I mean, it's more controllable than the other ones, and it is a nice little handgun that looks nice. Anyway, GKS is a solid gun and has been for a long time. A lot of people don't use it. I don't know why, but this gun is solid. Recoil control, everything. I don't even have to talk about it. It is a very solid gun. It's not the best gun in the game. It's not the best SMG, but it's not a wimp. It's not the worst. I'm telling you that much. Cordite. Cordite, if you want to talk about the worst, it's probably around the Cordite and the Razorback, I should say. But the two, I mean, Cordite is just bad. I don't know what to say. The fire, I mean, it's got recoil out of this world, and the fire rate is quick, so you run out of your bullets quickly while trying to hit your shots. It's like one of the faster shredding SMGs, but with less damage and a less fire rate. I don't understand it. Anyway, QQ9. I'm just now, the way I do my loadouts, I can only use epic or above weapons once I got epic. So it started off with I can only use uncommon or above, which that was years ago, 2 years when the game first came out. Then I started getting some rares, so I had to use rares or above. Then I had to use epics or above, and I'm just now getting my hands on a epic QQ9, so I'm only now allowed to use it. But I did get this from the Odin draw, and it does come with custom iron sights like my RPD. And so far, the QQ9 is a pretty solid gun. Only reason I'm not using it is because so many other people use it. It has been meta for the whole, since it's come out, pretty much has been meta. and I have not really used it, so I'm deficient in its use and its ability. So when I go up against a person using this, they utterly destroy me. So I'm typical to switch off, but if I need a solid SMG that I know will get the job done, because I do have it in my loadout right now, then it is definitely this. Fennec. Fennec used to be my baby. I'm not gonna lie. It was my favorite gun. My favorite gun. Or SMG, I should say, until the... It was my favorite gun. Because a lot of the other guns that I love right now were not out. And the Fennec was just... When it first came out, it was unrivaled. Other than the MSMC, this thing was the quickest killing gun. I loved it. I had a build to control its recoil. I loved it. They've nerfed it so much, though. The fire rate is still good, but the damage is terrible. The recoil is a little worse than what it used to be. Man, I miss the good old days with this. But anyway, AGR have not used this much. I'm pretty sure this is a solid SMG. I could be wrong, because again, I have not used this that much. But I have seen it used in BR, and it kills like a normal SMG. It's not above par in Battle Royale, so I don't know if it's solid. I'm not gonna say it's solid, but it's it's an SMG. QXR. QXR is like the QQ9, but worse. I mean, I think that's all I can say. It's a great SMG, but other SMGs are better. PP19 Bison. I have not used this, but I have gotten it used on me. I picked it up off of people. This thing with the right attachments can sit there and laser, and it's literally one of the closest things to a laser beam. This thing is crazy downrange. With the right attachments, of course. With the wrong attachments, not that much, but MX9. MX9 came out after the Fennec, and they nerfed the Fennec so bad I had to start using the MX9. And I actually am a fan of this gun. I still am. I actually, if the M13 did not come out, I would have had the legendary MX9, because I would have spent my money on that instead of the M13. Luckily, the M13 came out first, so I got the M13. But yeah, this gun still great. When I say some of the other guns can't compete with the newer ones is definitely the MX9. MX9 is crazy, and it's still very great in this game. All right, CBR. CBR, everybody likes the CBR because it's a mythic gun. They're like, oh, it's a mythic, so it's so good. It's not actually that good in my opinion. It's very comparable to the PDW 57. See, look at that. 27, 75, 54, 100, 44, 50. And then if you look at that and compare it to the CBR4, CBR4 is very close to it. I don't know if they've nerfed it or buffed it, because those numbers did change a drastic amount between the two. But my point in saying this is that they're both comparable. They both feel the same. They both kill around the same time. It's just the PDW feels a bit faster. Next is the Papoosh. Nope, I'm not going to trademark that. I heard that from Kill first. He probably heard it from a YouTube video, but anyway, yeah. The Papoosh, or the PPSH-41. This gun is... I don't have it unlocked, actually. But if I did, which I tried to in one of the spins, I tried to get the epic for it so I could use it. Because this would be my SMG. This thing is... Yeah, I can't say anything about it. I've only used it in BR. In BR, this thing kills so quick. And I have picked it up in multiplayer. I've gotten killed by it multiple times in multiplayer. This is a great SMG. I'm pretty sure the recoil control is a little hard to control, but I think with good attachments, that should change. And the MAC-10, I have to say, is like the successor to the Fennec. I'm so glad I got that out, because I did not want to say it. They did not nerf the Fennec. The Fennec would compete with this daggone MAC-10. This MAC-10, as you see, has a fire rate of 120. Fennec is 111. I think the damage is both 24. I can't remember. But, yeah, it's like the successor. I'm sorry. I said it twice. If y'all would stop, how y'all gonna nerf the Fennec and then bring this gun out? Doesn't make no sense. Anyway, now we get to the KSP. And you're probably wondering, the KSP isn't even out, so how would you know stuff? Wait a second, isn't that a level 5 KSP? The gun is terrible. How is it level 5, actually? I've only used it in one BR match. And I It's a burst gun, but it takes longer time to kill than the Shickum and the Pharaoh. I don't know why. It feels terrible to me in BR. The recoil doesn't seem that terrible. It does kind of glide off to the left, so it's got lateral recoil and not vertical, but I don't like it. I don't like it. It hasn't even come out to the game officially, and I don't like it. Shotguns. HS2126. It's okay. Just like the snipers, we're gonna go ahead and break them up into classes so we can get this done quicker, hopefully. So with this, you have your one tap multiple fire. So you click the trigger once and like it shoots a burst. So it's like a burst shotgun, I should say. So that would be the HS2126, the Echo, the R90, and I think the JAK 12. I don't have this unlocked, and the JAK 12 is like a sniper. But anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's these things. HS2126 shoots the most out of it, and it's very fast when it shoots. This thing is solid up close, man. That's all I can say, but it does lack in range. But up close, very good. Next, we get to the Echo. Echo is what I'm using now because I have a skin for it that matches one of my operator skills for it. But the Echo is definitely worse than the HS2126 up close. But this thing has a magazine. With this, you have to actually load the bullets up in it, and that's the case for most of the shotguns. But this one, you could just put a mag in, so after you spray out, you could just put one back in. So that's what really gives it an edge against other shotguns. But anyway, yeah. R90. R90 is probably close to the HS2126, but they're both unique. But I say that's the closest one to it. R90 is weird. It's like pow 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 pow. HS2126 is like pow 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 pow. So I would say R90 is probably worse, but it has better range. The range check with this is a lot better than HS2126. And the JAK 12, as I said, I have not used it. Don't let that range lie to you. 33 range with the right attachments, this thing cross maps. And I'm not going to lie, because I haven't used it, but I've literally gotten cross mapped so many times. Like in the, what's it, the 2v2 thing, the tournament thing that Call of Duty has, that most people don't even do, but some of the people do it. This thing, when you pick shotguns, you need to have a JAK 12. Again, I don't have it unlocked, so I can't really reap the benefits of it, but I get cross mapped so much with this thing. Anyway, next is the one tap, one shot. Striker is like a semi-auto. You could tap it and it'll shoot. It's got like 12 bullets, I'm pretty sure, so it's like a hybrid in between the two. But then, or now that brings you to the one tap, one shot, one tap, one kill shotguns. Y15. I normally call it the BY15. I call it the buy. That's the first time too. Alright, the BY15, the HSO 405, and the KRM. And let me make sure I'm not forgetting anyone yet. So, HS2126 has a faster fire. No. Then what? Okay. I don't know what it is. It seems to have more damage actually. But yeah, it seems to have way more damage. So up close, this is definitely a one tap, one kill, but it takes so long to reload the bullets. Like putting the slug rounds in is so tedious sitting there watching, knowing people's about to come up on you. So it's really, you get like, what's it, 8 bullets? You shoot your 8 bullets and you hope you can find a hiding spot, because if you don't, you're dead. And kind of same with the BY15, but the reload time is quicker, the mobility is better, and the range is a lot better. Like the range with the HSO is very good. You see 37, but the range with this is 40, and it does have a slight edge. And both of them can get good attachments, but with the attachments, it's like a multiplication factor. So if you're multiplying by 2, and this is a 40, that's an 80. You multiply by 2, that's not quite an 80. So you're getting a lot more from this than you are from this. So BY15 is better down range, still gets the job done up close. But if you want to just go in and shoot up close, definitely the HSO. but BY-15 is more of a controllable shotgun. You hit if you see somebody, no matter what the range is, 9 times out of 10, you're either halving them or you're killing them. Next is the KRM. KRM I have not really used, but it's slower. The fire rate is a lot slower. Like the feel is a lot slower when it comes to shooting than the HSO and the BY-15. And the reloading is faster, much faster, but shot is slower. The range is also lower, and everything else, I guess you could say it has better. But those three things, nah. That's the end of the shotguns. Taking us to our last group, and at least there's 4 of them. So again, if y'all, well, not again. If y'all enjoyed the video, put a like, and if you made it this far, I'm very curious. But if you made it this far, please, I beg of you, take the time to put, let me see, where's it, what's a good name? Let's go with this. To put skeleton ignition in the chat. Please, I want to know who's made it this far. Because if you did, I'm astonished. I mean, I don't have that much of a following. So some people will find this video very helpful and watch the full thing. But I'm just curious as to who actually watches the whole thing. So if you make it this far, please put skeletal ignition. Just take the time to do that. I don't even need a like or anything from you. I just need to know that y'all have watched this far. Oh, we do have pistol. Oh, man. Anyway, Kilo is a it's like a sniper, except it's a marksman. So you have a rail instead of a scope. If you put a scope on it, then you got issues. But anyway, that's the Kilo. SKS is a semi-auto. As fast as you can tap is as fast as it'll shoot, and they actually reduced that, so it's a little bit slower than that. But it is still great. Very quick shooting and great gun. Okay, the SPR is next. SPR is close to the Kilo, but better in every way. I know that's much to say, but it's not actually better in every way, but much better. Actually has a clip rather than you having to fill up the bullets like by hand. Oh no, this has a clip. My fault. This has a clip, but it does have a faster reload time. I'm pretty sure. It could be wrong. But yeah, this one is just better to me than the Kilo. You can hit your shots better. This one, if you go into a snipers only match and marksmen are allowed, you're going to see more SPRs than you are Kilos. Because the ADS time is much better on this. And I don't even know what else to say. MK2, I have not seen anyone use this in a long time. Since it first came out. I mean, the MK2 is probably still better than the Kilo. But the SPR is better than the MK2, hands down. But the MK2 has its own little... What's the word for it? Has its own pros. I guess I'll just say pros. That's not the word I want to say. I don't know. I can't remember what it is. But MK2, yeah, I haven't seen this in a long time. It's a great gun, though. Would I use it? Yeah. It's been a long time since I've said whether I'd use it or not. But I guess based on what I'm saying about the gun, y'all can tell. But MK2, yeah, I would definitely use it, but I'm using SPR first. Next is pistols. Well, let's get into classification. You have shotgun pistols. You have semi-auto pistols, which I think are the ones that you tap once and they fire once. And then you have full auto pistols. Or not full auto, but you tap the trigger and it shoots like a burst type thing. Anyway, let's do the classification. There is... Yeah, how do I do this? I don't want to get the classification wrong and y'all get mad at me. The LCAR 9. Does that not sound Apexy to y'all? Because I have not actually used this. Because it's not technically in the game. I could probably find it in VR, but I haven't been able to. But you see the fire rate is 72. The damage is 55. This looks like a RE and alternator type. It really looks like the RE, to be honest, but it definitely brings Apex vibes. It literally says LCAR. Like the L star is a gun in there. I know it's an LCAR. But then you have to add the 9, which makes me think of the R90, and it kind of looks like it too. It just has that front handguard or whatever. That's the only thing that makes it different. So If it's like the or if it's like the R90, then we can classify this with the Renetti and yeah, just the Renetti. So these two, you tap the trigger. This one I think will be full auto though. I'm pretty sure you just hold down the trigger and it'll shoot. Then you have to change your mag and it's like a SMG. I think that's what this will be. This one you shoot and it shoots a burst. It's like a burst pistol, but I'm gonna classify them the two together because this is the closest we have right now to a full auto. And then next you have one tap, one kills. Well, technically one tap, two kill, two tap, one kill, because you need two shots to kill. But there is a chance that you could get that one tap. And same with the Renetti, but you have to hit headshots with all of them. But Renetti technically not, because it is a burst, and it isn't that first bullet that does the job. It's the whole entire burst of that first burst. So anyway, J358 and 50 GS. J358 I think is faster, right? Yeah, faster fire rate. Is that higher damage as well? No, lower damage. So it shoots faster. They're both two taps, but one of them shoots faster. So what would you rather in this situation? I mean, would you rather one that shoots faster and takes the same amount of bullets to kill, or one that shoots slower and takes the same amount of bullets to kill? This one is easier to control though. J358, if you start panicking and you're trying to shoot to kill this dude, you probably will miss all your shots and run out of ammo. This one that's hard to do with, but it is still possible. You'd have to be very bad to do it. I mean, I'm basically dissing myself because I've done that so many times. But anyway, next we get to the MW11. This one, I'm not putting it with the J358s because it doesn't have the damage factor. But as if you tap it, it shoots, just like the other one. The only difference is this thing taps very fast. Very, very fast. It's not like a slower tap, because if you tap the J358 and you just keep spamming it, it'll shoot. It'll go pow, 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 pow. The MW11 though, you can literally hold down the trigger and it'll keep shooting, and then you can also tap it and it's a lot faster. It's just a different type of gun, and I'm actually just now remembering that you can technically hold down the trigger and it'll shoot. So we can group it with the Renetti and the Elcar. But anyway, enough of that. The last two, we're just gonna call them special. So the special needs pistols. You got the shorty, which is like a shotgun shorty. Again, the only one we have. They'll probably add more. They should add more. Shouldn't be only one shotgun pistol, but I see it if it is. And then of course the crossbow. The crossbow is a crossbow. I hate it. It's terrible. It's not terrible, but I hate it. Next and finally, I think finally this time, we have launchers. Amazing, right? Anyway, FHJ, you used to be, I think you still can, but it has like a little homing beacon on it that you can shoot at any vehicle, any enemy vehicle. And because it's really in, well, you can use it in Battle Royale, I'm pretty sure, but you'd have to find it in BR. But if you ever put it in multiplayer, it only really shoots score streaks. And I'm pretty sure you can still shoot blindly without it actually locking on to anything. And it'll still shoot a rocket. I think they took it out though, I can't quite remember. But yeah, this is more of your vehicle attacking one. Next up, the SMRS. It's a rocket launcher. What more can I say? You see an enemy, you shoot a daggone rocket at their head. It's a rocket launcher. Thumper. Thumper, on the other hand, is a grenade launcher. There's a difference. And actually, I think I explained that quite well. The difference between the SMRS and the Thumper. This is a rocket launcher. High impact, shoots very fast, like a fast bullet. Like, of course, you have to it reloads slower, holds less, but it shoots like much quicker. It's like a missile. It's like it's a missile launcher. It's a launcher. And the Thumper is a grenade launcher, so it shoots like grenades out rather than a fast. Like when you think of a grenade launcher, it kind of goes up in the air and then comes down. That's what the Thumper is. SMRS is a straight shot. It's a rocket. Anyway, thanks for watching. You've made it 50 minutes in if you made it to this point. And if you have, I just appreciate you. Thank you very much for watching the video. if there's anything I missed, or y'all want to hate on me for not liking some of the assault rifles in here or anything else, I'd be happy to read your comments. You know, I'm kind of curious as to how this will actually do on YouTube, because it is such a long video, but it is information packed. So if you're just now getting Call of Duty and you're trying to look for a gun, then you might be more likely to stay than others, but I just want to see how much of you have made it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch y'all in the next video.